Hey, this is Mav, and I'm going to be taking a look at some charts that DE64 asked me to look at. Rather than always just commenting in private messages, I figured that I'll go ahead and do some live video charts of them. I'm not going to do any annotating because I can't scan through them all real quickly like that. I'm just going to show you how I look at them, Dave. First one was ARCL. Drop looks real steep, but it's not that bad. It's gone from like $16 down to $14. This is a candle pattern that I'm not positive if it even has a name. You see that it closes down, it gaps up, and continues up with a solid white candle. Shows a pretty strong straight trading day that it had, but if you notice the volume is very low on this. I mean, I don't know how many trades that even was. Got a pinch going on. Obviously, it's not super deep. The PPO is only at -6, but a pinch nonetheless. Everything turning pretty quickly off that. D asked me about a kiss. This is a term that was put together by a guy named Charger. It's when the PPO comes down and touches the full stow. When it's bottom, the full stow will come and lead the way, making the turn. It's not a 100% guaranteed sort of thing, but it is just one more indicator to use when trying to find a turn. D, that's a nice looking chart. I'd look for a continuation again tomorrow. Obviously, volume is something to keep a close eye on. The next one is DRV. I haven't looked at these yet, so I'm kind of got to bear with me. I believe this is a real estate fund play. Yeah, it's a real estate bear share play. I like this way it's making looks like it's making a little rounded bottom right here. Looks like it's going to try and flatten out a hammer the day before yesterday, up on Friday. Obviously, these generally have pretty good volume. I really like the looks of those candles right there. You can see it hit that lower volley, pushed itself right back over, sitting right against the PSAR now. We'll be looking for that to flip. Just looking at those candles and looking at that RSI, that's a chart that looks like it's going to try and turn. Obviously, it's a little bit weighted on the market and how the market's doing. But this is one long-term ascending pinch. This is a second pinch coming in, not real deep, but that's what I say, it's an ascending pincher. If I just had to look at that chart, I'd say that is one very nice looking pincher. Now, obviously, again, it's a bear share real estate play, going to be indicative. It's going to be relying on the market a little bit, but that's a chart that looks like it's going to try and trend back the other way a little bit. That would be a play I'd like to look at the options on and see what's available there. About some calls. Next one's SRS. Another ultra short real estate. So we're going to see a lot of the same thing right here on this chart. You can tell very, very similar. Again, this is a little bit more volume, a little bit less expensive. Another one would be a good one to look at the options on, see what kind of call options there are. See if you can catch this thing. If this market starts to go south, like most of us tend to believe it's gonna, even though it's been fighting it and proving us all wrong every day. But this would be one to be looking at for some call plays on it. Nice base, making a rounded look to it. Very nice looking chart for a pincher, for a reversal. Next one's TZA. Okay, Dave's obviously beating up the 3 times bear charts, which are all going to be very similar. This one's actually got a little bit of a turn going back down the other way. Small caps. Good volume. Similar positioning. Got the MFIs moving a lot faster too, but they're staying pretty close together. You always hear me talk about that big separation. Be interesting to see if this 7 will lead the way for much longer, if it'll want to pull back and get closer to the 14 first. Usually we look for that kiss to come down right at the bottom, but you can see it's coming up through it right there. That's kind of what we talk about with it. Excuse my voice a little bit. I do have a terrible cold right now. I guess I'd be a little bit more sketchy about this one because of that RSI turning down like that. These 3 candles right here, I actually like the look of. The it's a Harami, and that's engulfed. The engulfment actually encapsulates the 2 days before that, which I kind of like to usually see that, especially with an increase in volume, because a lot of times when you see those 3 candles together, you'll see a bigger move come. It just has something to do with that Harami and then that engulfing that swallows both candles before. Keep an eye on that from a technical learning lesson to see what that does. You always look for an increase in volume over the 3 days, which it didn't get on the down day. You'd like to see the down day with volume drying up, and then the Harami, and then the engulfing. When you see those 3 things in a row, a lot of times the chart will make a bigger move. Just a little bit of a technical lesson there, something for you to watch and kind of keep an eye on. Final one, I think you said was a very strange chart, NMDPF. So we'll see what's strange about it here. Obviously, just by looking at the RSIs. What is this? This is a NASDAQ bulletin board stock. Trading strange on it. You picked it up because of this. The PPO and ADX is being so incredibly high. Very interesting one to watch because a lot of times you'll see these ones that have, look at this, just no volume basically. This would be one you'd have to look at and see just a quick bit of DD to see what sort of share structure it has. I mean, this thing, you never know. It's got 705,000 in volume on Friday. You can see it all came in right there. I'd be willing to just bet off the top of my head that this is an extremely low float play. You'd have to take a look at it and see if it's a legitimate company at all or what have you. But yeah, these crazy PPO ADX pinches like this, they're strange because sometimes they all of a sudden they will just catch fire. They're weird because of this one, especially because of the volume. But it would be one to keep an eye on just to see if it's going to catch some momentum, and for some reason it's going to catch fire. Maybe somebody knew something here and that's why it got some volume. I don't know, but it's a pretty good one to keep an eye on. Just because this correction a lot of times will just all of a sudden happen. So it's usually, I would never say it's something that I would throw a bunch of money at or plan on holding for a very long time. I'd want to be pretty quick with it. I'd be watching it every minute of the day. I'd try and get in and out and see what's going on with it. But you're right, it's a very strange chart. I like those the 2-3 times bear charts that you had. The best out of those, the DRB and the SRS. I like those 2 the best for not only technical plays for traditional trading, but I'd also look at those for options because I do like these long ascending pinches. I think that they're a very strong move. We talked about it in chat before about that's exactly what INDU did, the Dow, when it finally bottomed. It made its reversal. It was just 2 incredibly long pinchers with an ascending pinch, and those have a possibility there. And especially if you're going to take a look at the overall market, and if we're going to be expecting any kind of a correction, these bear plays will move. So something to keep an eye on. Anyways, thanks for the charts. I'm glad I got to take a look at them for you. I hope doing it this way helps you out a little bit to see what I do when you ask me questions. I'll try and do this a little bit more frequently. Thanks, and I'll see you guys on the board.